G'day everyone. Well, as you can see, the cylinder head for the EV Falcon's back from the machinist. Automotive superbalance in Shepparton. You can Google them. Good quality work and very, very cheap. $100 for this to be machined, which is not a bad price. That included cleaning the cylinder head and vacuum testing all the ports to see if the valves were any good. If you've never heard of it, that's what they do. They'll clean everything right up and they vacuum test, just with the valve shut obviously. So they vacuum test each port, exhaust and inlet, to see if the valves are leaky. They have a vacuum gauge, a vacuum pump, a round plate. It's sort of bigger than the ports, and the vacuum pump pulls a vacuum, and if there's a big leak, the gauge just reads no vacuum, or not much of a vacuum. Ideally you want to build up a big vacuum. You want the valves to seal really well. The head that came off the car was less corroded, but it had no valves left and valve seats. You know, the valves were pulled into the head pretty much. So this is a little bit more corroded around this side of the head, which is the exhaust side. Those coolant ports, if the camera's going to focus, they're slightly corroded, but there's plenty of meat there. They checked it out and said, yep, no worries, not a problem. So even that one there, it looks like it's close, but he said there's still plenty of meat there, because it's the metal reinforcing ring in the head gasket will have way plenty enough meat. And I'm going to use Hylamar anyway. Same with the back of the head, they tend to corrode there as well. And again, there's still plenty of good fresh metal. So they machined it up, they cleaned it, and it's good to go. So don't forget, when you pull a cylinder head off, these little buggers, which are the dowel pins to locate the head gasket on the block, they should be sitting in the block. You put the gasket on these locating dowels, and then the head goes on top. When you put the head back down on the motor, don't scratch the surface of the head by letting it drag on those dowels. Okay, so when you take the cylinder head off, sometimes they'll come out with the head. In fact, quite often. Don't leave them in the head, and don't plunk the head down on the workbench face down. Well, you shouldn't put it face down anyway. You should, if you do, you should be putting, you know, like a soft, reasonably dirt-free towel down first, because you know, you might scratch the head surface and make it unusable, or not unusable, but you'd need to machine it then. So what determines whether a cylinder head's usable? There are a number of things, and the first thing is corrosion. If it's too corroded, you can't use it. You can't, not really. Well, not economically. Automotive superbalance tell me that it's $15 per hole to have those welded up and then machined, but he said that it's not a very good idea unless you're planning on doing the valve seats anyway, because it will generally cause distortion in this area and the valves won't seal. So, wondering if the noise is in the background, it's a stupid washing machine. So, yeah, what else can I say? The ports on this side are less corroded because there's no coolant flow through these ports. The holes are in the block, and they're obviously in the head, and they're not there because they want this side of the head to heat up quicker, and that assists with the fuel evaporating in the ports and not sticking to the sides of the ports or anything. Not really a big problem with fuel injected cars because it atomizes the fuel really well anyway. But it's more importantly, they blank off this side ports so that you get a greater flow of coolant through this side, which is the exhaust side, and that's obviously the side that gets hotter. The exhaust valves also get a lot hotter than the inlet valves, because when they open, combustion is still actually occurring. If you've ever run an engine with no exhaust manifold, you'll see what I mean. You'll see flames darting out of the exhaust ports. So they get hotter, so you want to cool down around the exhaust ports really well. So it's clean on the top side as well. So they've used a bath, a hot tank, to to clean the head right up, and it's come up like $1 million. Like, it's pretty well that clean all over. Just carefully flick it over to show you. This cylinder head's the one that was in the kitchen, and if I did a video, I can't remember. It was absolutely filthy, so this is really nice and clean. When you've had a head machined, make sure that you clean with compressed air all the ports, any hole or passage in the head, because sometimes, not always, and the head guys have cleaned it, but make sure there's no swarf left hanging around the cylinder head, because swarf is not a very good thing for a motor, so keep that in mind. Thanks for watching, guys and girls, if there are any watching.